Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we're going to be checking out the Razer Huntsman Mini. Razer's taken feedback from the community and added its latest addition to the Huntsman lineup, which is the Huntsman Mini, a 60% layout keyboard. So as you can see here, on this side it forgoes any of the navigation keys, arrow buttons, numpad, anything like that, and gives you a really compact form factor aimed directly at gamers. The Mini can be equipped with either of Razer's optical switches, the purple clicky and also the linear red, and comes in this mercury white variant and also black. So let's check it out. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So while it lacks any of the dedicated buttons for arrow keys and navigation buttons like home, page up, page down, anything like that, a lot of those are accessible through secondary functions. So if you press the function key down here, you can push another button to control your media, use arrow keys, page up, page down, all that kind of stuff just within the smaller layout. At its core, what this does is just gives the Razer Huntsman Mini a very compact footprint. You can even tell on the sides here, it doesn't go out much beyond, the edge of the switches. It's just very compact all around. Even from a height standpoint, it's not very tall, and all that just caters to gamers who want as much room as possible for moving their mouse. If you're playing Fortnite or CSGO or Escape from Tarkov, anything where you need some big mouse movements, then having a smaller keyboard is going to make that a lot easier. Another feature they implemented directly from the community is the removable USB-C cable. So it just unattaches up here, and actually that lets you use a variety of cables if you wanted to. So if you have a custom USB-C cable that you want to use, this will accept pretty much any standard USB-C plug, so you can use a custom cable. And looking at the back of the keyboard here, obviously it's pretty flat, but then also has the risers, which one cool thing that they've included on the risers is a little degree indicator which shows how much the riser is going to be lifting up the keyboard. So it's kind of a neat indication of what it's actually doing. Moving on to the switches. Obviously this is in the Huntsman lineup, so it's Razer's top of the line, and it's using their optical switches. So we have the two different styles of optical switches available on the Huntsman Mini. First are the clicky purple switches, which are what I have on here, and then Razer also has their newer red linear optical switches. So depending on what kind of feel you like, or what kind of sound you like, that's something that you'll want to take into consideration when picking one of these keyboards. Another factor in there is the price. The Huntsman Mini with the purple clicky switches starts at $120, and if you opt for the red linear switches, that'll take it up to $130, so a little bit more expensive on the red switches. And also, while the purple clicky switches will be available at launch, the red linear switches, I think those will be available a little bit later, maybe in August. But for me, the purple clicky optical switches are one of the best feeling switches that I've used in a gaming keyboard. They're very light and easy to actuate and give great feedback when you are pressing them. Of course, they are pretty loud being a clicky switch, but if that's something you can get over and get around, they have a great feel to them. If you haven't heard of Razer's optical switches, they use light instead of a standard mechanical physical connection to actually send the signal from your keyboard to your computer. Razer claims this has a couple benefits, one of which being speed. Without any metal contacts in there and using light, it should transmit the signal faster, so you get a faster response, but I'm not sure if you actually, notice that difference. But then the other thing, which actually is pretty appealing, is durability. Because there aren't any physical contacts that are moving in there and coming in contact with each other, the optical switches are rated to a much higher durability rating than a standard switch. And here we'll do a quick sound test so you can hear what the Razer purple optical switches sound like. As for the keycaps, Razer is using double shot PBT keycaps in here, so that should give you some good shine through, but then also some great durability on the keycaps. Another nice thing about them, because it has this shortened layout and it's missing some of the keys, you can see on some of the keycaps down here, it has those secondary functions displayed on there. So you can quickly find which key combination will give you arrow keys or the home button or delete button. Razer also now carries different colored keycaps. I think they have white, black, and green. So if you want to customize the look of your keyboard a little bit more, then you can pick up a set of these and do that. And what would a Razer gaming keyboard be without RGB? So as you can see here, it has per key RGB. And one cool feature about the Huntsman Mini is that you can make some changes to that RGB without downloading and installing Synapse 3. So typically to make any changes to any of the color settings, you would have to download and install Razer Synapse 3, which there's a lot you can do in there. If you have other Razer products, then it's actually, really cool and you can get some really neat customized settings. But if you don't want to install another piece of software, or if you're taking the keyboard to work and don't want to install it on a work computer, there are some key combinations that you can do to change some different settings on the keyboard. So if you don't want it to be, scrolling across all these bright colors, you can turn it to something a little more subtle without the need of downloading and installing Razer Synapse. Overall, I've been loving having a smaller form factor keyboard for gaming. It just gives my mouse that much more room to make movements, and I don't need to worry about a full-size or 10 keyless keyboard getting in the way. When it comes to working, both writing scripts and editing videos, I do miss the arrow keys some, but if you're just getting this for gaming and you don't see yourself using those keys very often, then I think you're going to be very happy with the Razer Huntsman Mini. I have been using the Drop Alt a lot recently, which is a 65% keyboard. And so what that does is it just gives you one extra row of keys here on the end, which gives you home, page up, page down, delete, and arrow keys. So it is a little bit bigger and definitely more expensive, but that's something that if you find yourself wanting a little more navigation and arrows, then that's something you might want to take a look at. And if you also find yourself wanting to dive into mechanical keyboards and creating your own, obviously the form factor of the Huntsman Mini is great, but you can't do any customization beyond, just some cosmetic things with different keycaps. The glorious GMMK is available in a 60% layout, and so that gives you the ability to hot swap switches in there, so you can really play around with the sound and feel of your keyboard. But that being said, I still think these switches are some of the best that I've ever used, and I haven't been able to find anything that feels as good as the clicky optical switches from Razer. So what do you think of the Razer Huntsman Mini? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.